Hello everyone. I got some more Farmhouse Christmas Decor DIYs I did for you. I think they turned out great. A lot of them, it actually ended up turning out to be more in this video than I'd planned, but let's have fun. So let's jump into the first one. So these right here are these little houses I got at Dollar Tree. Now these are fairly new. Now I grabbed one with a heart on it, and then I grabbed 3 others because I wanted to grab so many more, but I didn't. Now and then anyways, houses from Dollar Tree. Then these little snowflakes I've had for a couple years. You can tell that's old Dollar Tree stuff there, their packaging. But those are just the wooden snowflake cutouts you can get. And obviously we're going to change this up a little bit. Now, of course, these are perfect as they are, as you know, considering that they're covered in buffalo check, which is beautiful. So I'm going to leave them, but I'm going to put some masking tape on here just to tape this off because I'm going to paint the rest of this girl red. I want this to have a nice bright red trim on it. And in order to do that, we're going to use Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson. Look how pretty. It's just a bright, crisp Christmas red. So after I've taped off all the tops, because I don't want to get paint on my buffalo check fabric that's on the top of these pretty girls, we're going to just paint all the edges. And I was trying to be as neat as I could to not get it on the back, because you guys know I like to finish off the backs of things. I don't want them to look, you know, like it was a little bit, I don't want to look like it was a little bit too sloppy, even though I was very sloppy, but that's what the paint, you know, that's what the tape's there for. The tape's there to save us. So I just did the fronts and the edges, and then I said I wasn't going to do the back of it. I ended up doing the back of it. Now, also use your paint on one of your snowflakes. And here's where I had tried to not do the back. I was like, you know what, take the tag off and we're just going to paint the back of it too. Just throw the towel at it, just paint it, it'll be pretty. And that way, if you don't put it up in on a shelf, or if you put it on a tier tray, the back of it is finished and it's pretty. So the masking tape worked great. I didn't get anything on the actual buffalo check. I was a little surprised, but hey, it worked out. It was just masking tape. So use painter's tape, use whatever, tape. Now I head up this middle of this is sped up about 6 times, but I put a lot of heat on the top of that little wooden heart to get it off because I didn't want to tear anything. And that's pretty much, you see here, the premise of what we're doing. Now, after I put that snowflake on top, I was like, you know, it doesn't pop as much as I want it to. It might get lost a little bit from the pattern to pattern, but I wanted to dry brush some white chalk paint on here. This is also Waverly brand, if that matters to you. And I wanted the roof to look like it had more snow on it, even though, I mean, it's basically a snowflake. And the same thing with the snowflake. I just dry brushed all over it with my white chalk paint. And then now this little guy here is a wooden cutout that I got recently also at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to paint this pretty girl all white. I felt like it needed to add, this was a last minute, you know, you guys ever get your stuff together and go, you know, I'm going to add this. I still want to add some more to it. So then you just go to your stash and you start digging. Well, I had just recently bought that the little house shape. I bought those snowflakes recently. Now my Dollar Trees are still not having much Christmas out for me here where I'm at in Vegas, but I will continue looking. So now I'm just removing my glue strings. And here's the main structure. We got our house painted up, we got our snowflakes on, and now I'm going to use some grosgrain ribbon. I'm going to do a cute little double finger bow, and I have a tutorial linked in my description. I've said this in many of my videos, guys. I have a separate tutorial that I recorded that goes into detail. It slows it down. It's a very informative video, and it'll show you exactly how I've practiced in doing them and how to keep your sanity, because it will take forever for you to get good at them, because even I have to continually untie them, and then tie them back up. So in any event, there is a bow tutorial in my description box. So here I'm going to add these little extra pieces came from my junk bucket. This greenery here is a springtime greenery. It's off of a garland that I had a piece of. And then this other holly berries came off of a pick from last year. Save all your goodies. This is all, you know, we'll call it the cutting room floor. It's the best of my junk bucket. So these little things are great to just cut into pieces and do as you see here. We're going to add them to just accent little bows and pieces. And then at the end, I thought, okay, well, everything else has been weathered like it'd been snowed, so let me add a little bit of snow to everything else. So it kind of got just a little crazy with it, and I just put some snow on all that, which is also just the white chalk paint left over. And that's it. It's pretty quick to do that. I mean, of course, it took me longer because I jibber jabber and I have, you know, music on and I get distracted by pretty things. But what do you guys think? There wasn't much to do other than, you know, tape a few things off and paint this. So this will go pretty quick because that buffalo check was already there. Like Dollar Tree is bringing out some things that just make me happy. Like I do a double take when I'm in there, and there's some things coming up soon, guys, in the next couple videos where when I saw them at Dollar Tree, I said, what? Like audibly, people in the store looked at me. Dollar Tree is, you know, they're becoming very quick a good competitor for some of these other stores. So y'all better watch out. I got some good stuff. Now, moving on, our second DIY. This right here is a leftover. I have had this for many years, but look at this cute little wood joy. It's in the shape of a house. It's already pre-printed. I purchased it this way at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to go ahead and tell on myself, not like you can't see it here, but let me point to you. 2019. Yes, I purchased this that many years ago. This was pre-pandemic. 2019. Now, I don't know what else I'm pointing at here, but I didn't pay $5.99 for that. I could tell you that. It was either on sale or I got it on clearance, but I did buy it that many years ago. It's been in my stash. So here, what I'm going to do is we're going to turn this little guy into something a little bit, I mean, she's beautiful on her own, but we're going to make her a little bit more pretty. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give her a hair done. We're going to get her hair done, her nails done. So I'm taking 21 inch. These are like 3-foot painter's sticks because they were thick and I like them. So I get them in like a 3-pack at Lowe's or Home Depot. I got mine at Lowe's. They're like $1. I actually, I don't know how they are, but how much they are. I can't remember. I want to say $1, but they're pretty cheap. So I'm measuring the side of it because we're going to add a roof, as you can see what I'm doing here. And except you can see there, one of them has to go a little bit taller than the other so the roof pieces match up because I don't want there to be a divot in the top of it. So if you want to slow it down and you'll mute me to shut me up, you'll see that one is longer than the other so that when we're putting them on the roof, it'll have enough of an edge to compensate because you'll see here after I sand my edges, I'm going to line them up here and show you. Of course, I use my cute little mini vac. Also, in my Amazon shop, if you ever want to play around with a little vacuum on your desk like I do, get that. That's in my Amazon shop. Links below. Now, I'm going to paint the sides where the ruler stuff isn't. You know, the ruler markings. We don't want that showing. We're going to use our crimson chalk paint again. And I'm going to paint the whole top of the side, obviously the top of the roof, but then I'm also going to paint the bottom part in like an L shape. You'll see that a little bit later because you will see the underside of the roof, you know, like almost like the edging or the eaves of a roof will show through the top. So make sure you paint the back too. I left a little bit showing because we're going to use wood glue later. But now I want to add some more stuff. I want the red to follow through the rest of our little theme here. So I got a little artsy, got a little brave here, and I said, you know what? I've watched my sister and all of the nail ladies I go to over the years add these little dots to my nails. You guys ever get your nails done in the 90s if you're old enough? Obviously I am. And they use these little dot tools. I call this it's a nail dotting tool. I just copied that and I added red berries to the wreath. And I was like, you know what? Now we're going to just reinforce a couple of these red berries with this little stylus tool, which I also got at Dollar Tree, but many throughout the years you're able to see those in pretty much any craft store. Then I started to really let me try and then mess that one up a little bit. This was super popular on my nails, probably all through high school, all through the 90s and the early 2000s. I loved having my nail art, having these little dots on them. So I was like, you know what, let me just add this cute little accent here, and you just let the dots get smaller as the paint comes off your stylus. Does anybody remember that? Put that in the comments. Do you guys remember any of these nail styles? Like if you're a nail person, let me know. So that was mine of it. Here's the second finger bow of the night. Also, again, the tutorial will show you everything you need to know, so we don't need to slow this one down, but I wanted to put some buffalo check in here because I kind of want, you know, it needs to have that cute little farmhouse rusticness to it. So I made that bow, and now we're going to use 2 kinds of wood glue. I've got my regular Titebond regular wood glue. Then I've got hot glue all over this thing, which I let it dry off and it peeled off perfectly. Now see, there's where I was telling you have to make sure you paint the bottoms of them. Now the hot glue that I replaced in my gun that you saw just a minute ago, that is a different brand. It's also in my Amazon shop. I'm testing it out. I have had pretty good success with my projects so far, but I am still using the Titebond regular nail glue. Been talking about my nails too much. I'm gonna start using Titebond on my nails when I break a nail. The hot glue, it's wood hot glue along with the Titebond wood glue, and yeah, she ain't coming apart. And then the back is pretty on its own. It's pretty clean, but we're not done. We're not done, guys. We got to put our bow on here, of course, and then here I'm thinking, yeah, we're done now. We're done now, and we're gonna trim off our little pieces, our little tails, to make sure they're a good size for the proportionate to the wreath. But guess what? We need to get that Waverly white chalk paint, and we are going to we're going to dry brush the roof. Now, if I had done this one, technically I did this one first before the one I showed you in my video. So I'm not putting things in the order that I actually created them. I should have done it more like that first one you guys saw because I liked the snow effect on the roof better than this one. But I'm more than happy with how it turned out. Now, if you guys have any other little tiny, cute little already prefab signs, pre-made signs that have their little pre-printed pictures on them, add just a little bit to it. All I did was add some red dots. I mean, I was pretty scared, but I mean, obviously you saw I screwed up a little bit and then I was able just to wipe it off with a baby wipe. You could also use acrylic paint, not chalk paint, and it just came right off. So I didn't put anything over it. It's going to be an indoor piece. It's not going to get much, wear and tear. So in any event, let me know, guys, what do you think of this? This was a cute little just transformation. We didn't really do that much of a DIY to it other than cut a few pieces and add some paint and a ribbon. But I love her. She's so cute. She's so cute. You guys let me know. Now, again, this is our theme, the crimson chalk paint. Now, I'm going to make a beaded garland type thing. I've had this thing, you guys saw I made a pumpkin one. Where it's going to have a loop at the top because I like to hang it on things. Door handles was my thing. You guys put in one of my last videos that a lot of you would put them around the neck of a bottle. So I'm going to make a bottle hanger or a bottle topper or a bottle pretty thingy to hang around the bottle thingy, It's so forth and such as things and so forth. Anyway, so I added too much water to the paint. This is just Waverly chalk paint, crimson with water. And I needed to dye the beads. I did, I believe, 12 beads here. And I believe these are 16 millimeter beads. I'm not absolutely sure, but I just picked a grouping of beads. Now, I have a grouping of beads that I bought in my Amazon shop. This is the smallest or the smallest size of that grouping. If you want to check out my Amazon store, you'll see what size beads these are if you have to have the measurements. But what I did was I poured the water out, put more chalk paint in there, and then I got a better coating on it because I'm not going to paint 12 beads. But then later I ended up doing 6 beads in green, which you'll see. So a lot of my own rules don't apply to me after like 10 minutes. This is like 10 minutes of my own rules. I'm like, let's change it. So because we're going to add a cute little tassel with some cute stuff on it, I grabbed one of these laser cut stars that I got at Dollar Tree. They have lots of different little cutouts. We've seen them come out with some different ones throughout the year. I bought these stars early on, but basically just put a cute little, something that's Christmassy. So I picked a star. Now here's where I'm putting 6 beads on because I didn't want to do the same thing with green paint, but I just picked a piece of a floral stem. This is underneath there is a green piece of wire of floral stem that a flower was on. I put my beads on it and then I put a piece of, excuse my little Zoe's ears. She's shaking on the floor over here. And I don't have any regular chalk paint in green, so this is just a holiday green. It's the perfect green, by the way. It's a holiday green acrylic craft something chalk paint, or sorry, regular paint. Acrylic paint, Whitney. Acrylic paint. Calm down. Woosa. Anywho. Then I put some masking tape on each end to keep the beads from coming off. And this actually excuse me, dear. Mommy, it's working. Someone needs attention. She doesn't like that I'm not looking directly at her. But anyways, moving on. Jeez, kids, you guys. So I actually have seen someone do something like this with it. I want to say Farm Charm Chic. She's done a lot of really cool little, beaded things. And I may have gotten this idea from her with the paint on the stick. It worked out great in any event. It worked out great. So if you don't want to get the real messy one with the cup like I did earlier, then do the same thing with the skewer with more. As long as the beads fit on the wire or skewer or wood stick you're using, you're good to go. But the reason why I chose that size is because I just also recently saw these in the Crafter Squares section. Now, Dollar Tree had some black and white beads. They didn't just have those crazy colored ones or plain ones. So these ones I wanted to do like a farmhouse theme. Black and white, buffalo check, right? Well, you'll see here, I showed you guys the progression of, I didn't have a pattern. So I just started putting beads in like I thought they would look good. And then when I got to it, I was like, okay, maybe if I don't put the green in, but it's like I just specifically got out all that stuff and went through the effort of making 6 green beads. I'm going to use these 6 green beads. And I didn't. So I was like, okay, well, let me add these green beads in. It was black, white, and red. I think it looked great. But when I added the green to it, I was getting more of like a Olympic type feel. I don't know. It looked like it was the flag of something, and I'm like, no, this isn't looking Christmassy to me. Do you see that right there? Like, I was just trying different patterns and trying different things. Also, I put a piece of masking tape at the end of it. This is Dollar Tree twine I got in the Crafter Square section. It's a really cute, you know, like a natural and a white colored twisted twine. It's really cute stuff, but it was also $25, so I grabbed it, and you get a lot of it. So I'm just creating a base. Right here I decided I'm not going to use the black beads. We're just going to use the white. So I did a pattern of white, red, red, white, green, white. And that's just how you'll see here. So there's 2 reds, and then there's a white bead on either side of the green, and that's how I kind of stuck with it. So it's very Christmassy even on its own. We don't necessarily need to put anything on there to say, hey, look, this is Christmas, you know. So I pulled off the rest of it. Now there's the loop part, and what we're going to do now is we're going to start feeding the rest of the beads through both of those in order to make that part the loop, or the top of the piece that you're going to hang on your door handle, or the top of a bottle. And you'll see here, I'll bring over this really cute Dollar Tree bottle I got just recently also with this purchase. I love that bottle. It's in the pictures too. You guys will see it. I started to see how long I want to make it, because I don't want it to be super long. Also, if you decide to make these as a gift, you can put them on wine bottles. I'll show you that at the end, because I have an empty wine bottle in my craft room because it's really cute. I was going to paint it and then put some distressing on the little crown at the part. It's some good stuff. But anyways, I didn't want it to be too long, but if you want to make a tag out of the bottom and put maybe the person's name on it or a monogram, you just want to measure to see how long things are getting to make sure you're not making it too long. So I'm just trying to put the pattern out, but make sure you're feeding both of those strands through the longer part of those beads. So each one of those beads coming down have both strands in them. Now, what I wanted to do here is we're going to make the tassel. So I grabbed this little Dollar Tree picture frame I have, and I have this little extra scrap piece of buffalo check ribbon. That's going to be part of the tassel because I saw it in my junk bucket and decided that this is going to be its new home. So it's literally just a piece of scrap ribbon that I had laying around that was left over at the end of a spool. We're going to add that. So my decision is we're going to take our twine and we're going to wrap it around this particular. Now pick anything. I've used my cell phone. I've used a piece of hard cardstock. I've used anything you can get your hands on. That's the width of the tassel you want to make. So I twisted this around this guy here about 20 times because I wanted a decent. I just pick an even number. Seriously, guys, there really is no rhyme or reason. I figured 20 would have been good. So I cut it off so that both of the strands that are left over are basically at the bottom of what we're going to make our tassel out of. And then I'm going to also keep measuring to make sure that once I fold this in half, my tassel will still be the right length to add that buffalo check piece of ribbon into it. So I'm going to gingerly and slowly pull this off of the little picture frame here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut your tails at this point. You'll see that I decided to get on that struggle bus because it was just waiting outside my door. It says, you know, Hong Kong, Whitney, we're here. So, of course, on purpose, let's zoom in so you can see the thought process that just wasn't clicking. You know, the light switch just wasn't working right now. So I'm going to feed both of these strands through the inside the middle of our little loopy loop thing that we made. You like that loopy loop thing? That's a technical term there. So basically we're just going to tie the tassel on through the middle of it to the end of our beaded garland. So at one point, I'm hoping this makes sense, guys, because I'm really, you know, I'm really thinking that this is sounding like a car accident just waiting to happen, you know what I'm saying? But in any event, there you go. See how the strands went through the middle? So I'm bringing them through the middle through each side. So I still have a strand on each side, and I'm going to bring them up to the top, and I'm going to tie them in a knot. And that's just to secure that to the base of my bead. I don't like when there's too much of a gap between the end of your garland bead and the actual tassel. So I want to make sure I get this as tight up as possible. Now I did make one of now I'm actually cutting my tail pieces. Why I didn't do that to begin with, I don't know, but we'll see. So here I'm just going to tie a square knot, but I'm going to tie it as tight as I can because I don't want there to be that big of a gap. And you'll see there's cinching it down pretty tight. And I do a lot of square knots. My husband was a Boy Scout back in the day, and he taught me, as you guys have mentioned before. You guys all thank Kurt for teaching me how to do a square knot. It's left over right and then right over left, and that sucker will not come undone. It is a good tight knot, and I'm glad he showed me that. So we're going to add our little star as our little charm to the end of it. Now I just used another one of those dotting tools I've had for ages. And I'm going to put that, use that to push our little, one of our threads through. And now I'm also going to add my buffalo check little stripe of ribbon there. And then here's where I'm going to tie a couple square knots in. And we're securing these two guys to the very top. And then I'll show you the rest of the way how I finish the tassel. Now, you guys, I made one of these just like this, a little bit different because I added some cheesecloth to it on one of my fall videos. And I think that one might have been a little bit better to follow. But in any event, I grabbed another piece of a separate piece of the same, cream or white and natural colored twine. And I just tied it about, yay, you can see, can you tell? I'm doing this with my fingers, about not even an inch down, so you can make that natural tassel shape. So whatever you're comfortable with, if you want it to have a smaller little head to it or a bigger one, just do that. Then I'm also going to cut through the bottom loops of all of the tassels, so they're all pretty much the same. And then I put a diagonal cut on that buffalo check ribbon to finish it off. And then here's where I'm just kind of fluffing and fussing and messing around with it just to get all the little strands right. And I think it turned out great. I like that little extra weird, shaggy look to the end of that twine because it's a twisted twine. It kind of unraveled a little bit, but I love it. I mean, and none of it was planned, but I still think she turned out great. So here's the Dollar Tree bottle. Look at, she's so cute. And then I was like, just kind of messing around just so you can see how it sits there. This also looks great. And if you're making like excuse my moly shoulder right there. Jeez, Whitney, why didn't I cut that out? So here's a wine bottle. This is like where I'm telling you, like, check out your length. Now, I didn't measure it this way, but with the tassel, it's like the perfect length for just a standard wine bottle. So if you guys got some gifts you want to give, this would go really quick, and you don't have to do red and green. You can do the colors of that person you plan on giving it to, favorite colors, home colors. You can do seasonal stuff. You could do just black and white. You could do natural black and white, any colors you want, monogram it, make it a really good gift idea, or also look how pretty it is for your decor, Christmas decor. Just take the same premise and just apply the season to it. I think it's got so many possibilities that pretty much it's so customizable for anybody that you might want to make one for, or even for yourself transitioning. I'm probably going to have like 20 different ones. I've got a fall one. Now I've got a Christmas. So I'm going to have to do Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Grandparents' Day, Pancake Day, all those things. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, now this one is like sort of a little cheat here. Now this is going to be a DIY, but it's so fast. But this is like part one of our second to last DIY, I guess. It was might be our last, but here, to candle holder. These two things are from Dollar Tree. So we got the Dollar Tree candlesticks and a Dollar Tree little candle holder plate thing. And we're going to make a tiny little, I would call that maybe even a cupcake stand, but we're going to make a candle stand out of it. So what I'm using here is Starbond adhesive. That is the thick Starbond. It doesn't drip. And then we also have their accelerator. I love Starbond. It is immediate. And I sprayed a little bit more of the accelerator on the back, and then check it out. Within seconds, it is there. It's good for glass and lots of other different surfaces. And then there's me messing around with it, just making sure. And so we'll put that to the side, but here's what we're gonna make as a topper. So I got this wreath. I'm looking for, here I'm trying to read the tag, like, why doesn't it give me measurement? Ashland is Michael's. Now I got this little grapevine wreath at Michael's, but I know you can get them at Hobby Lobby in many different places. So I was trying to measure it to see, like, why doesn't it tell me anything? So this is me giving myself a little code, 6. It's a 6-inch grapevine wreath. So grab yourself a small little wreath. And now this right here is a garland I got on clearance many years, well, probably a couple years ago, maybe even last year before. I got it on clearance, and I always buy an extra one, especially when you get some of that stuff down to like 90% off. You can get this for like $1 from Hobby Lobby, or this one is from Michael's from a few years ago. But when they clearance out all that stuff and they haven't sold them, I always grab a couple for parts. This is like, this is my auto body shop, but we'll call it my crafter shop. This is all parts. So I'm going to cut all these little pieces off of the garland. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a mini evergreen candle ring. I had to think about that. Can you tell how the pausing in my voice? I was really, the wheels were really turning on that one. We're making this a mini evergreen candle ring. And that's the best way I can describe it, because Candle rings, in my opinion, the ones that you find in the stores are never full enough. And the best part about this is you can make this full, and on top of that, we are going to put so much gobbledygook and Christmas junk inside here. It's going to be so pretty. And it's going to be also, again, you can apply this same procedure to any holiday. So you make your own candle rings. We don't have to use evergreen. We can use other things in the future. We can use other types of greenery. So I filled it up. All I did after I cut these off is I just wrapped them around the ring and I twisted them like you're doing a twist tie on a bread bag. Just a little twist tie. And that's all I did. And then I pushed them all down, and then this is what we have. Now you can give it a haircut if you want, but I'm not going to, because I want to use it to glue everything too. So this is a pick that I apparently ripped apart and then zip tied back together so that I could use it again. So at least I know where I got it. So this is a old Hobby Lobby pick that I had that apparently I did not use, because again, that's how you know Whitney's been there. I zip tie the things back together and put them back in my stash. So I'm going to pull all these little greens off of their stems, and I'm only going to use the shorter ones. And I'm just going to kind of set these in here and glue them in. Now, it only took one pick, but I'm going to suggest to you, because I don't know what Hobby Lobby has this year, and I'm pretty sure I've had that pick for a year or two. Just find some Christmas greens that you would mix together. I mix greenery together that you wouldn't think would go. My favorite is to add magnolia leaves. Now, magnolia leaves are too big for this project that we're doing here, but I love to mix different colors of green and different types of greens, especially different types of pines together, because also that can transition you into winter, and you can keep this out, even if you want to, all the way in through, February and March. In any event, we're going to put a little bit of Christmas in here, but you could say it's almost like farmhouse winter, because those little red berries have some rusted stars in them. I think you could get away with that for a while. So after we just glued all these in, I was like, I need something a little bit brighter green in it, because it was kind of washing itself out. Now this right here is a spring pick that I got at Dollar Tree earlier in the year, and you can see I've used some of it. So I'm going to just cut the actual little greenery pieces off of their stems instead of using them as they're bundled. And I'm going to put glue on the end of each of them, and I'm just going to tuck that in all around the wreath. I am going to add them with no pattern in mind, just make it look like it's kind of a wild little bunch of branches that we kind of bundled together and just made a circular like candle ring out of. It really has no rhyme or reason, but I like that it has a darker green and a lime green. It puts a little bit of like, this is the end of the frost season. I don't know, I'm making up a story. I make up stories. It's like a soap opera in the craft room. This was created with the greens that were just ending the season. Yeah, whatever. I don't whatever makes you happy. I love making stories up in my head while I'm crafting. So I want to add some pip berries, and I had these picks left over from Joann's from a long time ago, but you can find pip berry stuff anywhere. Just grab some pip berries. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to add them in, just again, all over the place with no pattern. But what I'm doing with them is I'm just going to wrap them around my finger to give them like sort of a little curly, tendrily, viney look. Same thing that we do with like pumpkins when I made all the pumpkins. This is my pumpkin tendril practice. And also I can't seem to get away from the word pumpkin or pumpkins in general. I love them. I really miss them, guys. I miss my pumpkin videos. Like if I put a pumpkin video out right now, nobody it's like, it's not performing. YouTube would say, "Excuse me, Whitney, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What I love." Anyways, this is Pumpkin Tendril Practice 101 for next year. So I just wrap them around my finger. You could use a pencil, a paintbrush, a chopstick, a dowel, a skewer. I've been known to use even my unused glue sticks, the bigger, thicker glue sticks. Just wrap it around something circular, get yourself a little bit of a little curly Q viney look to it, and then just kind of, again, place them all around where they see fit, where it looks good to you. What makes you happy, what makes you say, you know what, I'm having so much fun. This is so cute. I've said that many times, you guys. My husband hears me from the next room and habitually laughs at me all the time, or with me, because I'm having a good old time. I don't even know what time of day it is. It's like, I'm in there with the lights. The drapes are shut out. I don't know what day it turned into because I'm just having too much fun. Then I'm thinking, okay, she's pretty. Look how pretty she is. But it's like, what else? I just want one more thing. What else can I put in here? I don't have any more kitchen sinks. I'm fresh out. So I grabbed my mini pine cones. I got these at Dollar Tree about a year ago. I see them all the time at my Dollar Trees. Also, especially now at the holiday, the Christmas stuff is out. You can find these at the regular craft stores as well. Might also be able to find them in like the dried dried aisles, I'm not sure. But these little mini pine cones, again, I grabbed them and I just got a little glue happy and I stuck them all over the place because this is going to be meant to be seen at different angles. So this is a candle ring. We're putting it flat on the surface of a table or that cute little pedestal that we made. This right here now, my heart is happy. It's very farmhouse, very Christmas, and also very like woodsy, cabiny. You can get away with this for a while because, you know, pine trees grow all year long. It's not necessarily just Christmas. Now, if you want to make it less Christmas, take the stars out of it, but she's so pretty. I just love it. You guys let me know. It's a little bit involved for a candle ring, but I think it turns out beautiful. And so here I'm just showing you different ideas. Here's a candle, here's the Dollar Tree bottle, and then look at, we'll put that pretty girl in the middle of it too. But here's better lighting in the studio lights in my garage. I love how this turned out. This is very natural, even though it's all obviously fake stuff. It's all plastic and plastic and synthetics. It's great. Don't put it anywhere near. Again, LED candles, guys. Do not put real flames near this. Like I've said before, if you put a real flame, and then of course there's our pedestal. There's our little thing that we made. So, you know, part one of it. Do not put these things near real flames. If you do that, you should never be left alone. You need to be supervised. LED candles only, okay? And there she is. I love it. The base was turning out, no paint, just a little bit of Starbond. And then here I put, I just did another little setup so you can see the possibilities of what you can put in here are endless, but that candle ring just adds so much to all of it. You guys let me know what you think. This is, you know, a good little decent amount. I know someone mentioned before they wanted more DIYs in one video. I'm trying hard. Some of my videos might have 1 or 2, some might have 4 or 5. I'm trying to see what we can do. I have some more updates to give you guys on, you know, life and how things are going, but tell me what you guys think of these. I had so much fun. And towards the end, half of these things weren't planned. Most of them were planned, but they turned out so much better than I thought. And I think that's probably the best part, is when things turn out better than you thought they would. I love every single one of these, and it's so hard for me to actually find places to put them so that I can see them, but I do get to see them. So again, makes my heart happy. You guys tell me what you think. And also, are you still making things? I know most of the time we're still, you know, Thanksgiving's not here yet, but a lot of these things, let me know where you guys are at in your Christmas crafting. Are you guys still making? Are you still looking? Are you still shopping? I have to keep shopping because we don't have anything out here on the West Coast yet. But I had a lot of fun, and these things turned out so great. They make me so happy. So happy. Now, I want to let you guys know that coming up soon, I have a collaboration video that I'm going to be doing with a bunch of creators. Brandy from the DIY Struggle has put together a wonderful group of people. Then we're all doing duping through the holidays. So, actually, I think I'm a little bit early in this. I think, hold on. Okay, pause, break. First, I want to thank everybody for being here with me and joining me and continually supporting me. Those of you who are able to donate to me and buy me a coffee have helped me keep my channel going. I love you guys, and thank you so much. Now we're going to the duping through the holidays. Now, all of these creators got together through Brandy. She's hosting from the DIY Struggle, great gal. And each week there's going to be a $60 gift card that you can get through through answering questions on everybody's videos. Now, my video will be out next Friday. I'm going to be on November 18th. We're duping Walmart. And I've already put the playlist in my description because it has started as of last week and then also today. This will be coming out on Friday. So every Friday you will see, 3 or 4 videos from all these creators. Take a look at them. Let me know what you think. And then look for my video that's coming out on the 18th. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's my first one. I was very honored that I got invited, and I can't wait to do it. So I'm really happy, and I'm looking forward to it. So with all that said, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much. You guys are continually just my best friends. You really are. I love every single one of you more than I can possibly describe in words. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and do my happy crafting mini hugs, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye-bye for now.